Paraffin or soy? Which one is better to burn? Yes, I said burn that way because no matter what you burn, by the way, no matter what it is, it's a carcinogenic. Let's start there. Context is everything in life. Do you have a stovetop? That's gas? Carcinogenic. Do you barbecue? It's carcinogenic. Do you have incense? Carcinogenic. Do I make my point? Let's start there. That's number one. Now, I want to get right to the point to say what I want you to know, that in the neck and neck of the horse race, which one is actually slightly less toxic? Yes, soy is slightly less toxic. But that's not the end all. It's like an Olympian or a racehorse. They're neck and neck. They're still winners. They're just about the same. But hold on a second. We want to put this in context of the world. But before we do that, let's just understand something. Paraffin, for the purpose of a candle, burns hotter, which means it diffuses better. It performs better. You're buying a candle. That's what you're buying. You want your home to be fragranced. Let it do its job. Number one. Before you go into but it has to be environmental friendly. Hold on. Let's understand the word environmentally friendly, or in your home, or what you breathe. Soy burns a lot cooler. So you got to burn it for hours for it to work even. It's like, doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Not that well, at least. Now comes the important context issue. Where do you get soy wax from? Soybean oil. That's where it comes from. Where does soybean oil come from? Soybean plant. The soybean plant, by the way, has to be farmed. For it to be farmed, by the way, what do you need? You need pesticides. When you have pesticides and it rains, guess what happens? It runs off and it goes into your fisheries. And it goes into your fisheries, contaminates your fish. What happens? You eat the pesticide from there. You don't care maybe. Let me continue on. When you farm your soil, you exhaust the soil that was meant for human consumption. So you want your candle to burn with soy that is going to replace the food that it should be producing. Why is that a problem? Because when you exhaust the soil, you have to put fertilizer into the soil. Another way of exhausting our planet. It doesn't end there. Farmers are exempt from soil erosion. So the fact that they are using that farmland for soybean oil, that means that they are not containing the topsoil, which means when there's a wind, the topsoil just goes and flies somewhere else. All those other things that are actually happening in our world should be used for food consumption. So that's soybean oil. Then you say, Rafi, what about palm oil? What about that? What about vegetable oil? Vegetable oil is the same as soybean. What about palm oil? Where do you think palm oil comes from? From the palm trees. In third world countries, what do they do? They take the palm tree, cut it, and deforest. You are ruining the wildlife. You are deforesting. Those countries don't care to replant seeds, which means now you're creating soil erosion, which you're taking very rich topsoil and just putting it back into the oceans. You're destroying the carbon recycling ability of these palm trees, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So here you are again affecting. In context of those things, you are affecting our planet with the non-paraffin. Paraffin, we all know, is a byproduct of petroleum. Yes, it has a slight amount of benzoin in it. Yes, it's like anything else that if you, in quantities, it is not very good for you. But guess what, people? Do you use deodorant? Not good for you. Do you use plastic bottle to drink water? Not good for you. Do you use shampoo? Not good for you. Do you eat sugar? Not good for you. Do you eat processed food? Not good. These are everything that you're putting in your system every single day. Every single day you are using these things. You even drink alcohol. Horrible. It's like poison. Now, in context of all this, when somebody says, I would like to be healthy about my wax, understand the number of hours also in context of the day. Every single day you use the shampoos, the deodorant, the creams, the sugar, the processed food and everything else, the junk food that you eat, the Dorito, the coloring that you're eating, the canned food, the phosphates, and all that other stuff that you're doing. You have to live in a balanced way. Now, our job as candle brands, our job is to make beautiful candles that deliver great fragrances, and it is your responsibility to have a home that smells great for a limited amount of time, and then it's ventilated properly. Your home has hot air heat. You have ventilation in the system anyway. It's circulating. You light the candle, you hang out, it smells good. 2 hours later, you're shutting it down. How often do you do this? And for the purpose of those 2 hours or 3 hours that you are lighting that candle, the fact that you are going to have it not perform out of context of everything else, to me, is absurd. All professional candle makers, professional, long-time candle makers use paraffin. I can't stress this enough. The difference between the two is neck and neck. It's slight, it's a tiny bit. If you use your phone, by the way, the electromagnetic waves in your phone that you use hours on end, the fact that you're watching your phone hours on end, you should worry about that. That's what you should worry about. So my point is, factually, in context of the global picture, please understand, our job as candle makers is to give you all the components, the customer service, the beautiful design, the bouquet of fragrance, but it's got to deliver. At the end of the day, you have a candle. It's got to deliver. The paraffin is the best option, period, the end. Everything else is part of a propaganda by that association. That's always been the case. You like it, you don't like it. Facts, not facts. This is the reality we live in. I leave it to you. I'm going to say this very clearly. If I was ever to make a cake, it would be the juiciest, the fattiest, the most sugar in it, the most creamy, the most dressing on it. But it's not up to me to control how much you eat. It's you to say, you know what? I want to enjoy. You eat it, you enjoy it in limited quantities, you get the best performance, and you move on. So, back to the question, which is better? For me, in context of the entire globe requirements that you look at, by the way, remember, when you do anything on the farm, that means you must annihilate all sorts of animals, because otherwise the animals are eating the corn, the soybean. So not only are you like, if God forbid you're a vegan, because then you're actually, let's not even go there, okay? So I'm not going to stop. I better stop before I continue on. My answer to you is paraffin for a candle in context of moderation in your home is the best answer. If you don't understand all that, please do fact check so you get a better understanding of the bigger picture. In context to your home, in context of your life, in context of the 2 hours that you turn it on, and then you want to enjoy your fragrance. You want it to smell fantastic. That is my job. I stand behind the paraffin. I love you guys.